one of the comments I'm getting in my interactive chat room tonight is that this seems like growing a grow up seems like a lot more trouble than it's worth. Is it?
I mean, if you're a big time player and you're in it and you're doing it a while and you're very precise and you got a house that's say in the boonies in Maple Ridge or wherever, somewhere where it's secluded up in Burke Mountain or whatever, right? Then it's worth it, I think, right? I mean, $250,000 for 6 weeks of sitting on your ass is fucking nothing. But if you're doing it in areas where there's kids and schools and families, well, I think that's fucking bullshit. But I mean, if you're in the game, do it in places where it's secluded, right? I mean, you can go buy a fucking house in Maple Ridge in the boonies for $500,000 and do 20 fucking crops out of the goddamn thing, right?
Did I hear you correctly when you said when you were a young boy that your dad had to grow up going in his attic?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was alright because I used to take it. Right? So it was alright because I had free weed, but I mean, now looking at it, I mean, it could have turned really bad if someone knew about it, right? I mean, he did it himself, right? I mean, it was only fucking 15 plants or something. It was small. It was just whatever for personal stuff. It wasn't a major dealer or nothing, right?
Right.
But so it was safe, right? But I mean, looking back on it, anyone could have smelt it, right? I mean, he had very good ventilation, and you couldn't smell it at all. I didn't even smell it in the house until he chopped it, and then it was in his room, right?
Right. How does someone go about getting involved in a grow up? I mean,
you can ask, go to a weed dealer. You ask him, hey man, if I rent or buy a place, can you tell your buddy to fucking get it going for me? And then he says yes, and then he tells his buddy says yes, and then next thing you know, you go put money down on 20 grand on a house, you got a house, you fucking spend 30,000 to 50,000 on the equipment, and there you go.
And then
6 weeks later, you got fucking $250,000.
And then they can just do whatever they want with the house when they're finished.
No, because you keep doing it, right? Because you do it. It takes 6 weeks the first time, right? And then after that, it takes 3 weeks.
So the first initial grow is 6 weeks, and everyone after that is 3 weeks, so you can turn over your profit a little bit quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So
it takes 6 weeks because you get the soil and the chemicals and the weed all starts from a seed, right? And then the next ones start from clones, which are leaves, right? And then the leaf is already grown 8 inches or so. So you stick that in the soil, and then that grows into a big tree. And next thing you know, 3 weeks later, it's done. So
a crop that has a grow up that's got a lot of really good plants in it of high quality. That's got, I don't know, maybe I'm not quite sure how many you need to. How many plants you need to make 25,000?
25.
Or 250,000. Sorry, the $250,000.
A pound is 2,500, so you need 10 pounds.
Right. So I mean, when you said they make $250,000, how many plants do you need to make that?
Oh God, you mean you like fucking 10,000? You need a whole house full.
Right. So if you
each bedroom has to have fucking 50 plants or something.
Right. And that's doable.
Each plant, if you do it really good and it's really good quality and the buds are really really good, you could do each plant almost a pound. And I'm talking like 8-10 foot fucking trees, right?
So does that happen? I mean, are people making $250,000 off these grow up houses with that many plants in them?
Oh yeah. That's why the electricity bill's so high, right? I mean, you need 20 lamps in each room, right? And that's a 1,000-watt lamp. Look at how much your hydro bill is with your little 60-watt lamp.
That's true. That means then, if that's correct, and it takes like a 3-week growing period, you could, in effect, every couple of months, every month, 2.5 to 3 months, be turning over $1 million.
Yep. Every year, my buddy was doing something like 10 million or something.
This is the guy that had the 10 houses.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, Wow. But you have to be a pretty big player to get involved in that. I mean, you have to have some capital to put a down payment on the house.
Right now, I could start up. If I just borrow 20 grand off someone and say, okay, I want to buy a house, do the house, and Maple Ridge, get it done. 6 weeks later, I'd pay them all back and have profit. And then I'd just keep going all by myself. And you just go up to someone that like, say, someone that sells pounds, right? And you go, hey, man, in 6 weeks, I'll have fucking 10 pounds. You want it? You know?
Wow.
And you sell them, and you got to make a good deal, right? I mean, if they're buying 10 pounds, you don't sell them fucking $2,500, right? You sell them, say, 15, right? And then they make $1,000 on it, right?
Wow. I guess if it was really easy to do, though, I mean, everyone will be doing it. So there's obviously got to be a lot of complications. Otherwise, every house would be a grow-up.
Well, no, because how many people are scared of getting caught, right? There's always the caught risk. There's always the violent risk. There's always, oh, God, I don't know what I'm doing, so the house is going to burn down, right? The chemicals, the wattage of the lamps, everything. Like, you got to know what you're doing. You can't just go, hey, like, you can't go, hey, I'm Fred. Can I buy a house and you get me set up, right?
I suppose not.
Yeah.
One of the viewers in the chat room tonight wants to ask about, he says, I've heard about all this special weed shit, his words, and these grow-ups. Are they able to have like more modified plants? Any kind of special modified?
Oh, yeah, there's different flavors. There's blueberry. There's bubblegum. There's
bubblegum.
Kush. There's yellow Kush. There's purple Kush. There's purple indigo. There's like thousands and thousands of names, right? Right, and then you can mix 2 different ones. But if you keep one strain, then that's the strong strain. It's going to be the best. If you mix 2 strains, it weakens, right? Like if you get purple Kush, it's not Kush anymore. It's partly Kush and partly something else, right? The bikers used to have one. It was called White Rhino, and it was the best. You pick up a bud, and it would look like it was full of coke.
Really?
Yeah, and that was all the THC, which is all the purity, right?
Wow. That's wow. I mean, you're giving us a lot of information, a lot of insight into.
Yeah, you ever tell someone my name is dead?
Hey, I know the rules. I know the rules. You know, I mean, I guess that's the other half of it too. Is the fact that I mean, once you get into this, it's really hard to get out of it.
Yeah, you already know my story, so.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. For those that aren't quite sure, but I mean, you obviously paid a price to get out of it. But I mean, I know you've struggled with financial problems. I know that you kind of struggled to fit in this legit world you're trying to live, and I commend you. I think you've done a great job in trying to live the straight lifestyle and do things
3
properly.
years now.
But I mean, how big is the temptation to go back to running a grow-up for you?
Every day. Every day I think about doing crime, right, or something, right? I mean, I can stick a gun to someone's head and get $1,000. I can go and rob a grow-up and get $10,000, right? But I mean, it's too much of a risk. I got kids and shit, right? You know, I don't have them, and I'd love to see them, but there's no way I'm going to see them if I go back, right?
My friend, or I should say my friend, the associate I spoke with, who had this problem with the grow-up. He, like I said, he thought he was going to make a quick buck, didn't, ended up owing money, and the guys he was dealing with said if he didn't come up with the money he owed, he was going to basically break his hand. Yeah, he was going to break his hand. It wasn't that much money. But he actually, after it happened, he wasn't so convinced that he should walk away from the grow-up, and that maybe he still thought maybe that there was some way he could make money off it. I looked at him and thought, I think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. They just tried to break your hand. What would you say to him if he's still thinking that maybe there's something in this whole grow-up thing? What would your advice be?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for anyone, right? I mean, I chose not to because the life I live is a lot healthier and better, and I don't have anyone, I don't have to look over my shoulder. I mean, I wouldn't do it. If I was him, I wouldn't. I mean, if you got threatened to get your hand broken, the next thing you're going to do is get jacked. I mean, dope dealers like that, they set each other up too, right? I mean, yeah, grow my house, and then they'll get their friend to rob you, and then next thing you know, you got to pay all that money. It's not worth it, buddy, straight up. I tell them that. I tell them, hey, don't do it. Right? I mean, you got fucked over once. I mean, what are you going to do? You get fucked over again, and then what are you going to do? Have to owe more money this time? And then what? You get your leg broken, and then you go back because you have to pay them again, and then you get your fucking neck broken? No thanks.